Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to crack open some really compelling sources, find those nuggets of wisdom you can actually use.
That's the goal.
And today, we're not just digging through, financial reports or anything like that. We're actually going on a pretty fascinating journey. We want to extract some powerful lessons on entrepreneurial triumph. And get this, straight from Warren Buffett himself.
Right from the Oracle.
Exactly. We're diving into insights from, well, a collection of his writings, his observations. We've kind of distilled it into what we're calling Buffett's blueprint for entrepreneurial triumph.
Yeah, it's not like one specific book you can just pick up. It's more of a framework we've pieced together from his core ideas.
Precisely. And it offers these really practical, inspiring nuggets that go way beyond just, stocks and bonds.
Oh, absolutely.
So our mission for you today, it's really about uncovering not just the business strategies, the things that made certain people incredibly successful.
Which is interesting in itself,
But also drilling down into the character traits, the life choices that Buffett highlights as fundamental, absolutely key to success.
yeah, the human element.
Think of it as a guide you can apply in your own journey, whatever that looks like. Building a company, sure, but also just excelling in your career or even navigating personal growth.
It's broader than just business.
Right. This isn't just about making money. It's really about building a meaningful, resilient life.
And that really is the core of it, isn't it? It's quite intriguing how Buffett's insights, they often just transcend that traditional financial advice box.
Totally.
I mean, yeah, he's the Oracle of Omaha, known for his investment skill, obviously. But his real genius, and I think this blueprint shows it, it lies in his grasp of these human qualities.
The universal stuff.
Exactly, universally applicable qualities. So we're not just looking at what he advises, in terms of investments. We're really trying to dig into the why behind it all. Exploring those foundational, almost philosophical elements that let people achieve, frankly, remarkable things, often against some pretty serious odds.
Right.
It's about let's say, the underlying architecture of how someone approaches the world, which then, shows up in their business life.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because, when I think Buffett, my mind instantly goes to, spreadsheets, stock charts, maybe a cherry Coke.
Yeah, the cherry Coke.
But this blueprint idea, it suggests his real insight into success isn't just about the numbers. It feels much more fundamental. Is that right?
That's spot on.
What's the biggest sort of misconception people have when they look at Buffett's view on entrepreneurship? Because it really seems to focus on the qualities, the strategies of the person, more than just market stuff.
You've absolutely hit on a crucial point there. I think the biggest misconception is thinking it's all about, financial wizardry or some secret formula.
Right.
Buffett's genius isn't just spotting a good business on paper, it's spotting a good person running it, or potentially running it.
Oh, okay.
He's not necessarily looking for the flashiest business plan out there. He's looking for what you called it grit architecture earlier. I like that.
Yeah.
That inherent, almost stubborn drive coupled with a strong ethical compass. He knows those things will outlast any market swing.
Makes sense.
He sees entrepreneurship as just deeply rooted in individual character. It's almost like the person is the business in a lot of ways.
That's a powerful idea.
And what's really revealing here is how he identifies these principles that are just foundational, whether you're starting a massive company or just trying to navigate a big challenge in your own life.
Yeah.
He's looking for those deep-seated traits. It's not just about market knowledge or some clever plan written down.
Grit architecture. I'm sticking with that. It really clicks because, you can have the best plan ever, but if the person running it doesn't have that inner foundation, well, it's probably not going to stick, is it?
Probably not. Longevity requires more.
And this next part, for me, this is where Buffett's genius really comes through. It's not just his words, but who he champions. And I was just fascinated by how much he valued sheer grit, like the story of Rose Blumkin.
Oh, Mrs. B, a classic Buffett story.
Her journey is truly remarkable, isn't it? A perfect example of this. She built this huge multi-million-dollar furniture business, Nebraska Furniture Mart.
From basically nothing.
From a mere $2,500, $2,500. Just pause on that for a second.
It's incredible.
She started with pocket change, practically speaking, and built an empire. And she was facing huge personal challenges, like she barely spoke English when she started.
Yeah, the language barrier was significant.
It just hammers home that idea, humble beginnings are no barrier if you have that internal fire.
Indeed. And if we connect Mrs. B's story to that bigger picture, it really illustrates this recurring theme in who Buffett admires.
Which is?
A flat-out refusal to be deterred by setbacks, especially initial ones. And look, this isn't just about, bouncing back after a failure.
It's more than resilience.
I think so. It's about an inherent, almost you could say stubborn drive that just pushes through adversity, even when the odds look completely stacked against you.
Wow.
Buffett often talked about her unbelievable work ethic, right? How she could remember every piece of inventory, her fierce dedication to customers.
He really admired her.
He saw in her this rare kind of determination, like a willingness to sleep on the floor of her store if she had to haggle for every single penny, to simply outwork everybody else.
That's intensity.
For Buffett, she just embodied that spirit, the kind that sees obstacles not as like dead ends, but as just part of the process, maybe even necessary proving grounds, forging resilience, clarifying your purpose.
Seeing obstacles as proving grounds. That's a really powerful way to frame it.
Her journey really highlights that determination can often be way more powerful an asset than having loads of capital or some fancy degree. It's the engine, right? It keeps everything else moving forward long after other people would just throw in the towel.
It's almost like a primal drive, isn't it? To just keep going. It reminds you that sometimes the most sophisticated strategy is just showing up day after day and refusing to quit.
Exactly. Persistence is underrated.
Okay, so obstacles as proving grounds. I like that reframe. But Buffett's blueprint isn't only about battling adversity. It's also about how you connect, how you build bridges with your customers.
Critically important.
And for that, we can look at another legendary figure he championed, Jack Taylor.
Ah, yes. Enterprise.
Right. He took this small car leasing operation and turned it into the huge enterprise rent-a-car we know today, a global name. So what was his secret weapon?
Well, according to Buffett's take, it boils down to one thing primarily.
Which was?
An absolutely unwavering focus on exceptional customer service. Not just good service, right? Truly exceptional.
Okay, but what did that actually look like for enterprise in practice?
Well, what's really insightful about Taylor's approach and why Buffett highlights it is that he didn't see customer service as just, an add-on or a department over in the corner.
It was more core.
Oh, yeah. It was baked into the absolute DNA of enterprise. His whole philosophy was basically take care of your customers and your employees first, and the profits, they'll follow.
Interesting. So how did they do that?
They really focused on serving local markets. For instance, providing replacement cars for people whose cars were in the body shop. That was a niche most of the big rental companies just weren't interested in.
Finding the gap.
Exactly. And they were hyper-local. They'd deliver cars to you. They'd pick customers up at their homes or offices, just consistently going that extra mile that competitors weren't willing to bother with.
Little things that make a big difference.
It wasn't about, grand, flashy gestures. It was about the daily, consistent effort to truly serve the customer. And this relentless prioritization of the customer, putting them above pretty much everything else, that's what drove their massive growth.
And set them apart.
It created this huge competitive advantage in what's otherwise a pretty standard, commoditized industry. It really makes you rethink what customer service actually means, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's not just being polite. It's the whole ethos of the business.
Exactly. A whole ethos, a daily discipline, really.
And it's those small, consistent efforts that build that deep loyalty over time. Okay, so we've touched on the visible stuff, the almost heroic grit of someone like Rose Blumkin, and the outward-facing customer obsession of a Jack Taylor. But Buffett's blueprint also seems to dive into the quieter things, the, let's say, internal engines that fuel success over the long haul.
Yes, the less obvious pillars.
Like continuous learning. That comes up, right?
Yeah.
We live in a world that's just constantly shifting. So how do entrepreneurs stay relevant? How do they stay ahead, according to Buffett? What does his learning habit actually involve?
That's a really crucial point because, sustained success isn't just about that initial spark or that first burst of determination.
It's about the long game.
Exactly. Longevity. And that requires an ongoing commitment to growth. I mean, Buffett himself is famously a learning machine.
Right, I've heard that.
He's known for spending, up to 80% of his day just reading?
80%. Reading what?
Annual reports, industry journals, biographies, philosophy. He just devours information. He literally said once, I just sit in my office and read all day.
Wow.
For him, continuous learning isn't just like a nice idea. It's an operational imperative. a necessity.
Makes sense.
He really emphasizes that successful people are perpetual students. They're always absorbing new information, reflecting on their experiences, and importantly, having the humility to adjust their thinking when things change.
Adaptability.
Adaptability, exactly. Rooted in that continuous learning. It prevents you from getting stale, keeps you agile in a market that's always evolving. And he's not afraid to admit when he's wrong either, or to change his mind when new facts come in. That's real learning, isn't it?
That's true learning, absolutely. Reading 80% of his day. That's just a fascinating glimpse into how he keeps that edge. Most of us feel lucky if we get 8 minutes.
Sure enough, we're probably spending 80% in meetings.
Exactly. Okay, but beyond the intellectual side, this blueprint also touches on something more personal, almost intimate aspect of success. One that maybe gets overlooked in typical business talk.
You mean the personal relationships?
Yeah, the significance of personal relationships and choices. Specifically, Buffett seems to put a surprising amount of weight on one particular personal choice.
Absolutely. And this is where Buffett really goes deeper than just, business smarts. He advises very strongly on surrounding yourself with positive influences, making wise personal choices.
And the big one.
And here's the really interesting one. He specifically and often mentions selecting a supportive partner as crucial for fostering overall success.
Really, that sounds almost out of place for an investment guru.
It might sound unusual, yeah. But for Buffett, it's clearly a foundational piece of the whole puzzle. His logic is pretty straightforward.
What is it?
He believes that if you pick the wrong business partner, well, you can usually walk away eventually. But if you choose the wrong life partner, you're tied together in a much deeper way. And that can profoundly impact your focus, your emotional energy, and ultimately your ability to really pursue your ambitions effectively.
That makes a lot of sense when you put it like that.
He often credits his own partners, especially his late wife Susie, for creating this incredibly stable, supportive environment that allowed him to focus so intensely on his work without, unnecessary distractions or emotional drain.
So it's not just about finding someone who kind of tolerates your ambition.
No.
But someone who genuinely supports it.
Yep.
Contributes to it. But helps build that robust personal ecosystem.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. A robust personal ecosystem. The emotional stability, the encouragement, maybe even just having a shared vision that a supportive partner provides can be just an immense source of strength.
Yeah, I can see that.
It enables an entrepreneur, or anyone really, to weather the inevitable storms and pursue their goals with much greater focus and, frankly, less distraction. It really is about building that solid personal foundation so your professional life can flourish.
It's a holistic view then.
Exactly. A very holistic view of success. You can't completely wall off the person from the professional. If your home life is chaotic or your key relationships are draining you, that energy inevitably bleeds into your work.
Right.
Buffett understood, I think, that some of the best investments you make aren't always in stocks. They're in the people you choose to surround yourself with, and maybe especially in the person you choose to share your life with.
It's about ensuring your foundation is solid.
Yes, so you can dedicate your full mental and emotional power to your goals.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. What does this mean for you, the listener, whether you're, building an empire or just trying to navigate your daily life better?
Yeah, the takeaway.
Buffett's blueprint, it really isn't just for billionaires. It's not only for people starting huge companies. It feels like a powerful reminder that entrepreneurial triumph, or really any kind of triumph you're aiming for in life, it often comes down to this set of timeless, fundamental qualities. You got that incredible grit, that determination like Mrs. B.
Yeah.
Then there's the relentless focus on serving others, truly understanding their needs, like Jack Taylor.
It's just more obsession.
A real hunger for continuous learning, for adapting to whatever's coming next.
The learning machine aspect.
And finally, the wisdom to build a supportive, positive life around yourself, including those key personal choices.
The foundation.
These aren't just business strategies, are they? They feel more like life strategies for success. And they're drawn directly from someone who has seen firsthand over decades what truly makes people exceptional.
Exactly. And maybe the question for you listening is to consider how these principles, which sounds simple on the surface, right? Resilience, genuine customer care, lifelong learning, strong personal connections.
Yeah, they sound simple.
How might they be under-leveraged in your own life, in your own endeavors? What's maybe one area inspired by this Buffett blueprint where you could apply a bit more commitment, a deeper focus, to truly transform an outcome?
That's a great challenge.
Perhaps it's pushing through a difficulty you'd kind of written off as impossible, channeling some Rose Blumkin energy. Or maybe it's fundamentally reevaluating how you serve the people you work with or for, adopting that Jack Taylor obsession,
Or even the personal side.
or even consciously deciding to build a more supportive network around you, really understanding the profound impact of those closest to you. Just
Rum.
what's one small, deliberate step you could take, maybe even this week?
Powerful questions for all of us to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into what we call Warren Buffett's blueprint for success.
Hope it was useful.
We really hope these ideas spark something valuable, maybe even transformative in your own journey.